Thank you so much for taking time to join us today. The Grand Egyptian Museum, it's construction that combines infrastructure with innovation, with obviously the architecture of the ancient Egyptians. Can you just outline the role of Ezz Steel within that and why you feel it's so important to have been a part of such an important building?
We produce steel. We're the largest steel producer in the Arab world, Middle East and Africa. We started with this project from the very beginning of its construction, supplying steel, both reinforcing bars for the concrete works, but also flat steel for the various steel structures in the building. So it was a partnership from the beginning, as well as sort of partnering with Egypt's modernization activity, trying to modernize the infrastructure of Egypt, meaning Egypt trying to really modernize itself. So, but it's way beyond, and my feelings as an Egyptian, if you ask me, go way beyond the simple fact that my colleagues and I supplied steel to the building. This is a great occasion. It's as though Egypt is relaunching to Egyptians before the world its heritage. We remind ourselves that we've been on this land for 7,000 years, and that 7,000 years ago we had this, by the standards of the time, very modern, advanced system, both of government, construction, but even ethos and ethics. So we touch base with that. Every Egyptian visiting the museum from now onwards will touch base with his Egyptian pharaonic heritage and will look at that as an inspiration for the present and as a source of optimism for the past. If we did that, we can. That's basically it. And I think I share with my 10,000 colleagues in Ezz Steel, and I will assume with every Egyptian these feelings of being very happy with this thing coming now to fruition.
And you touched on it there, but I mean, how proud does it make you feel to be a part of that journey over these years? And what do you think this does in terms of Egypt standing on the cultural and tourism landscape for big infrastructure projects?
Sure. I think this completes a lot of work that has been taking place in the past, I would say, 10 years, but that has accelerated in the past 5 years, where despite Egypt being a middle-income economy, it has managed with success, in my view, in modernizing a big part of the infrastructure. This is part of the infrastructure. It's a cultural, iconic building that houses 100,000 pieces of our antiquities, but that included planning, construction management, and bringing this whole thing to where it is now. I believe that this would be a must-see element of any must-see list that will come out anywhere in the world for God knows how many years. As much as the pyramids of Giza have been must-see, this is also must-see, and both are together. So, and we need to raise ourselves as Egyptians to that level. Hospitality is ingrained in Egyptians, but we need to take hospitality with a more modern touch and understand what hospitality in the modern world implies, and make sure that we are up to the numbers that will hopefully come with this new occasion. And it's good to mention that while the world in some way is raising barriers to free movement of people, raising barriers to trade, there's a signal from Egypt coming out that we're opening, up our halls and our culture and our history to every global citizen. Please come to Egypt, look at how we were 7,000 years ago, and look at what we're trying to do. With success, hopefully with more success with you, with all the world, with the coming years.
What better way to do that than with the grand opening ceremony today with all the dignitaries and VIPs from around the world. When it comes to Ezz Steel itself, I've always been interested in looking beyond borders. Are there any industrial or projects or partnerships that you're now focusing on within Egypt or the region?
We're focusing on Egypt, quite frankly, because Egypt is 100+ million people. And once it starts on a growth trajectory, in terms of size of business to serve 100 million people, 4, 5, 6% growth means a lot to that business. It is incomparable anywhere else in the region. So you can be growing at 5% in another country, but the impact on any specific industry in terms of units or numbers or tonnage in steel, for example, it's not the same. And Egypt is on that trajectory, which is why we're investing in Egypt. We think that we believe that the economy is on a growth trajectory, and it is structural growth where I think for one generation we'll be seeing good figures of growth. And with that, we're investing as we speak in Egypt in increasing our capacity. Before we used to think of export-driven growth, right now we're thinking of local demand-driven growth. And this is what we're doing, up to 1.5 billion new projects that we're investing in, that we're starting to construct in Egypt in the next 3 years.
Fantastic. And just finally, been asking everybody, I want to ask you, is there one artifact or exhibit from the Grand Egyptian Museum that you think kind of is your favorite? Or
quite frankly, what stunned me the first time, I was here a couple of years ago with Boris Johnson. I hosted Boris Johnson as a speaker in one event for a non-for-profit organization here. And he insisted on seeing the museum, and somehow we came. And it was still under construction, but Ramses II in that huge atrium was there. And I was stunned. I just stood there mesmerized, and so was he. And this, for me, is, you get into the museum and you stand there. And I've been seeing Ramses II since I was a kid in front of the Cairo railway station. Now it's there in this much better environment. This is a stunner for me. And I'm sure, as with everyone else, the Tutankhamun Hall is something for the ages.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.